Hello fellow Sudokans, and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku. It's Sunday the 16th of October 2022. I just noticed my voice is gravelly. I just started speaking for the first time. It's proof that I never practice or prepare or anything for these videos. I just started speaking for the first time this morning, and I now noticed that my voice sounds very gravelly. It sounds like I've been smoking 20 a day for the last 10 years or something. That's just because I did not have a good night's sleep, actually. I didn't go to bed too late or anything, but I had a bit of a headache when I went to bed, and then I woke up in the middle of the night with some kind of weird dream, not exactly a nightmare, but just something that was strange, and woke me up. And then I found it difficult to go back to sleep. And then suddenly the weather got cold, and it was just very weird. And I listened to the radio for a while, and then managed to drift off to sleep this morning for a little while. It's now 10:15 in the morning, and the temperature is 24. Now for us in Thailand, now I know for some people that's like their summer, but for us in Bangkok, that feels cold. We're not used to temperatures down into the mid-20s, low to mid-20s. That's kind of unheard of here, really. Well, not unheard of, but just it's not something that we experience much. It's a bit like in the UK when it's a really, really hot day like you had earlier this year. It's a kind of rarity. Well, my cat seems to have woken up as well now, so I can hear him in the background, but I shall just ignore him and try to get on with the game of Sudoku. And then I can have breakfast after. Right, so this is the Observer Sudoku, so I have to explain the rules because the Observer game doesn't give any kind of indication of its difficulty level, and therefore it could turn out to be a very easy game, and so I should just prepare for any newbies joining us who've never played Sudoku before. If you notice, dear newbie, I am highlighting rows running across this grid, and you will notice that they have, except for this one, which doesn't have any digits in it, the others already have some pre-placed numbers. And you'll notice though that none of those numbers are the same in each row. For example, here we have a 1 and a 5, and here we have a 4, 8 and a 6 and a 9. And the object is to place the digits 1 to 9 in every square across. But wait, that's not all. You have to do exactly the same thing for each column down. Okay, 1 to 9, and then 1 to 9 go in these small 3x3 grids. And the numbers must not repeat. That's it. That's all there is to it. There's nothing else fancy to learn about Sudoku, except that when you play at the difficult levels, it can get very tough. Right. 6 is already in this column and therefore cannot reappear in any of these 3 squares here. 6 is in this column here and therefore cannot appear in this square here. 6 is in this row and blocks across here, and I'm going to use the word block here to describe what I just said. It's going to be a long morning. I think I should have had breakfast first before I started playing the game. 6 blocks down here, 6 blocks down here, and 6 blocks across here, so that puts a 6 into that square. 6 blocks across these 2 rows now, and in this block here, which does not yet contain a 6, we can now place our 6 here, and now we're going to go up to the top to get our final digit 6, with the 6's intersecting as demonstrated. So there we go. That's all the 6's placed in the grid now. We don't need any more 6's anywhere because we have 1 in each of the small boxes. Right, so 1 down, 8 to go. Okay, I see a 2 blocking across this row and a 2 blocking across this row, so that's where the 2 appears in this particular block. We have 3 blocking across this row. That means that 3 must appear there. We also can place a 3 here. Now, if you're a newcomer, you might say, huh? If you're a newbie to Sudoku, you might say, huh? Why is that? How can you place a 3 in this location? And I'll show you the answer. Okay, we have 3s blocking up like this. Okay, and we have 3s blocking up like this. So what do we know? Well, in the top here, we know that 3 is either in this white square or this white square, and this white square or this white square. Now, these 3 blocks across the top we refer to as a chute, and that means that because we have 3 in the top row and the middle row in this particular chute, in this block here, 3 can only appear in the bottom row. So 3 has to be in one of these 2 squares here. It can't appear in anywhere else. Can't appear anywhere else. Okay. Now when we look down here, we see 3 blocking across here and 3 blocking across here. So what do we know? 3 appears in this square or this square. So that's there, 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 like this. So now the same principle applies. Now we know that 3 is either in this column here or this column here. So in the middle block of these 3 blocks which are connected and we refer to as a chute, that was a horizontal chute, this is a vertical chute. We know that 3 is only available in the middle row. And now when we see the 3 that we've got here blocking across and 3 here blocking across, you can see why I told you that 3 has to appear in that square. So if you're new to the game, never played Sudoku before, that's something interesting for you to understand, I think, and hope you'll see the logic there. If not, learn a bit more about Sudoku and you'll find there are lots of other things that you can do, tricks that you can work out about logic. Excuse me. There is quite a bit to see in this grid already, but if it does turn out to be a beginner's game, I try not to show too many advanced kind of techniques. Oh no, excuse me. I was about to do something foolish, so never mind, just ignore. Okay, again, we have 2 blocking down here. That means 2 is in one of these 2 squares, right? So I want to consider this row up here. So this 2 blocks this square, and the 2 that will appear either here or here, we don't know where yet, but one of those 2 squares will also block up here. We have 2 blocking up here and 2 blocking up here. So in this row here, there's only 1 empty square. So that's where the 2 must go. Now we take that 2 and say blocking down here, 2 blocking down here. And now our 2 can appear here. Now there are 2 empty squares here, and if we look along the row, we'll find the missing numbers are 7 and 8. And now we've got an 8 blocking all the way down here, so we know that our 8 must go here and our 7 must go there. If you can hear birds singing in the background, so can I. I have no idea what type of bird that is, but it's often out here singing the same tune. We have 1s blocking across like this, so that's where a 1 goes here like this. And 1 across here, 1 is there. 1 blocks up these 2 columns like that, and that gives me a 1 in that square, and then we can take the 1s over here, blocking up, and 1 across here, so that's going to put a 1 into that square. We have 4 blocking across here and 4 blocking up here, so that's where the 4 must go. Now this column here doesn't yet have digit 3 in it. We've got 1, 2, 4, 5, 8 and 6, but we don't have a 3 yet. So this 3 blocks this square and this 3 blocks this square, so down here is where the 3 must go. Okay, now we're left with 2 empty squares, and those squares will be occupied by 7 and 9. That's what we need to finish this column. Now you can see that there's a 9 here already, so this can't be 9. This square can't be 9. 9 must appear here, and that leaves only room to place our 7. And again, that 9 is going to block across here like this, giving us a 9 in that square. And to finish this block, we need an 8. I'm rather glad that I suspected it. Well, I didn't suspect, but I started off the game thinking that it could be a beginner's game, because it does appear that it's going to be. Now, I can't say that for sure, but it looks like that very strongly, I would suggest. We're just missing a 7 from this block here. I wondered if it might be an easy level game. We haven't had one for some time. We've had quite a lot of medium level games from the Observer recently, so it's probably, I thought it might be time for one. We're missing a 5 in this column here. Let's rectify that. Missing digits in this row are 2 and 4. We can see our blocking 2 here, so that's where the 2 goes. That's where the 4 goes. The 8 blocks all the way down here. We still need an 8 because the missing numbers here are 5 and 8, so the 8 must go in that square and the 5 must go there. Again, we are missing 7 and 9 in these two squares here, so we've got a 9 blocking across here, so 9 can go here and 7 can go here. Eight blocks up here and 8 blocks across here, like this. So that puts an 8 into that square. And the last number we need for this row is a 4. Now 9 blocks this square here, so this is a 9, and the last number to place here is a 5. It's, you know, the Observer really should give us some idea of grading, because I think people who would like to attempt this game might have tried to play the game from a couple of weeks ago and be very turned off by it because it was quite tricky. And you know, so about 3 or 4 weeks ago, something, there was one that was very tricky. And if you'd played that game, you might have given up. Whereas if you play this and you're a newcomer to the game, you can cope with it quite easily, I should imagine, or not. Well, you know, certainly without too much difficulty. 7 is the last number we need for this column. I think it's quite doable by even people who've never played the game before. So, you know, it does help to give us an idea if something is completely for beginners or not. We have 3 blocking this square. We don't yet have a 3 in this row, so let's put that 3 in there. And the last number we need here in this row is a 7. So now we can say 7 blocking down here, 7 blocking up here. That's where the 7 must be applied. 8 now blocks this square, so 8 goes here, 9 is here. My voice is seemingly getting back to a reasonable standard of less gravel. 9 will be here. And I haven't even had breakfast yet. I'm looking forward to at least a cup of tea. That's what I really feel I need. 7's blocking across here. Do you drink tea in the morning or coffee? I'm usually a tea in the morning, coffee in the afternoon kind of person, but I sometimes change and reverse. 4 was the last digit to place there. Now, what else do we need? There's not much more to go now, is there? The missing digits from here and here are 2 and 3, but we don't have any intersecting 2s or 3s across here yet, so we can't say which is which. Instead, we're going to look at these 2 digits to find out what's missing here. And the missing numbers are 1 and 2. Now, that does help us because we have a 1 blocking here, so we can place our 1 here, and then the 2 can finish off here. Now, this 2 in the middle blocks down here, so that gives us a 2 there, and the last number for this block here is going to be a 4, I think. Okay. We'll take that 4 and bring it up to the top with a 4 blocking across here, That puts 4 into this square. Now this column has only one number missing from the series, and that digit is going to be 3. We'll take that 3 and block it that way across. Now we know that the 3 is here and the 2 finishes that particular block. And now we have, excuse me, just digit 1 missing from this row in the top. And from this row here, we're missing a 5. And that's today's Observer easy level game. Definitely, no doubt about it. A couple of weeks I've had some difficulty deciding levels for the Observer, but not today. That's really a beginner level Sudoku. Thank you very much. I'll be back later with some trickier stuff for those of you who prefer harder level games. Bye bye.